Back in Tampa after the opening rotation here, night number 1 for the women. McLean sharing that top spot. Chilese Jones, then Jordan Childs, Leanne Wong. So, John Roethlisberger, do you have an update on how things have gone so far?
Yeah, well, I was asking Alicia Sacramone and Chelsea Memel, you know, what grade do you give the women after that first rotation? They kind of both looked at each other and said, A-.
Where's the minus coming? Pretty spectacular.
Hey, you got to leave room for improvement. You can't throw the big score early, Terry.
Well, you know, and after listening to Chelsea, it seemed like, you know, she said a little bit about the landings as well. So perhaps that's where the minus comes in. Maybe some more. We'll hear some of Tim's famous lines, and then perhaps that'll be an A+.
There you go.
Yeah, we haven't gotten one tonight yet.
Not yet.
No, still in search of. You talked about, we just saw Jade Carey, and she's sharing the lead right now. You do carry yourself a little differently when you have been to the Olympics and competed.
Oh, absolutely. And coming back out here, a lot more eyes are on you. People know your name. People are cheering for you, but also people are expecting you to be that same athlete and gymnast that you were a year ago. And that's a little bit of added pressure, to be completely honest.
Confidence is there, but you're living up to it then. You're having to live up to it.
Absolutely.
Connor McLean getting set on floor exercise.
Boy, this is 2 events in a row for Connor.
Yeah, they're really testing her
has had to
level of
wait.
nerves.
It didn't bother her at all on beam, so this really shouldn't be anywhere near. I would say beam and bars is probably the worst for.
Absolutely, but I think no matter what event you're on, it's especially when you're first up on the apparatus. It's frustrating, to be completely honest, as an athlete, because you're just looking at the judges, staring at them, saying, "Can you just please let me go?"
Yeah.
Come on now, looking at your watch. Yeah.
And there's no update. There's no like, oh, you're gonna go in 10 seconds, or you're gonna go in 30 seconds. It's just, you know, what they do actually is the judges will raise the flag, and then you have to mount the equipment after that. But so that's what she's doing. She's looking at the head judges table right now, and I'm looking at them as well. And there's a lot of conversation going on down there.
As an athlete, I mean, what would you do in this situation? Take baseball. You're standing in the batter's box. You would walk away. You go walk around or go somewhere.
Well,
and there's her coach, Valeri Lukin, and he's over by the judges. I would
trying
imagine
to figure out
saying,
what's going on.
hey, come on, let's go, guys.
Because at this point, as we mentioned, she's first up, so there are no judges' delays for the athlete before. You know.
But I'm looking at Pat Panichas, who's one of the judges, and she's definitely got her head completely turned, and she is trying to converse with somebody else. There we go.
All right, finally.
Gotta shake it off, put it beside you, and do the floor routine that you know and have been training to do. Wow.
Yeah, fabulous tumbling. Really, really great. There was one leap in there, Nastia, that I thought she kind of fumbled just a little bit.
But you know what I have to say? From a year ago when the nerves got to her, without any of those holds, she is a completely different athlete right here. No, she was not phased on both events.
You're exactly right.
Especially with that weight. You're absolutely. All right, over to Caitlin Jong, the 16-year-old from Allen, Texas, who is the U.S. Junior all-around champ.
I asked her the other day. She's got a big skill coming up right here, though. We've seen this earlier. Back with a full. Ooh. Holds on to it. I said, hey, have you ever looked at the people that were junior all-around champions in the USA? Some of the names on the list. Have you ever looked at them and seen what they've gone on to accomplish? And she said, no.
That was the end of the conversation.
That was it. I said, you know, you just look at that name and it's, you know, a roster from top to bottom of iconic gymnastics legends for the USA.
And even with the Olympics being still 2 years out, great combination right there, a little off, but 2 years out, every single athlete, as you just mentioned him, every single athlete wants to win a national championships, to become the national champion of the United States of America. That is something that you want to do, both on the junior level and then the senior level. So is going through her head when she knows that she is about to embark on such a different journey here, one that Jade Carey here just embarked on and completed her first year of college. Very different experience than the national championships here.
But I have to tell you, she is up against the wall right here. In warm-ups, the general warm-ups, she fell off on a major release skill 5 times in a row, and the one-touch warm-up right before she competed, just maybe 2.5 minutes ago, she missed again.
And now she's had to wait quite a while before this starts.
It's right in the beginning. Here we go. This is the element. Grab the bar. Well, she did that, but she was supposed to connect it to another skill.
And the uneven bars really has never been her strongest event.
Beautiful.
She said, I never thought I would be finding myself at the Olympic Games competing on bars.
Eighth in the world at the Olympics in the all-around. Unbelievable. She says that that's one of her greatest accomplishments. Full twisting double, super upright landing, hop back.
A lot of mental strength, I have to say, has really been shown here. Tim, as you said, she had exactly.
So she missed that release 6 times in a row.
That's crazy.
When she puts her hand up, she grabs it.
And that's a great athlete, because when the green flag goes up and it is your time to go and it counts, she did it.
Find something when the lights go on. Jade Carey, star at Oregon State, now Pac-12 all-around champ. Great experience that first year. Her dad, Ryan, her coach.
And go gadget arms. She said she's just stretched her body out.
So while that was taking place, the support, teammates.
And that's what they both said. Competing in college, there's a lot more cheering going on. And they said that they both wanted to bring this energy right there to the competition floor.
Well, they used to kind of teams, but not for long.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
UCLA's moving on, right, to the Big Ten. There is that experience. We'll talk more about it, though. You've got many more athletes now, women elite gymnasts going to college and then coming back to the elite ranks and looking to make it to the Olympics. And Childs on uneven bars.
Great combination right there down to the low bar.
But, you know, I don't really think people grasp just how monumental a task Jordan was asked to do at the Olympic Games when Simone Biles had to pull out of the competition.
On this.
Yes, she was told she was going to do only 2 events that night, and this wasn't one of them. She ended up having to compete on all 4. And, you know, a lot of people said maybe they're disappointed with the silver. No, they won a silver medal. And a lot of it is because of that young lady right there.
Absolutely agree with you, Tim.
She was first on bars in this rotation. You saw the number there for Jordan Childs. Yeah, I think the fight of those teammates, and that's what they keep talking about too, that they had to fight for everything in Tokyo. Charlize Jones now getting set to go on uneven bars.
And this is a very big routine. Huge high-flying releases. Done in combination. But this is great if she can put it all together. Toe to handstand. Watch her fly here, down to the low.
Gorgeous. All 3 difficult skills, but combined together makes it even more challenging. No room for error. Little short on that handstand. Just the dismount.
Double front. Wow.
Almost had it.
But that is big for Charlize Jones. Absolutely. She has always had the ability, the talent. Without question, she flies as high as anybody in the world on not just one event, but all of them. She's so spectacular.
She talked about trying to stay within herself, not get too overexcited in different parts of the competition. And certainly.
So that handstand just right there, tad short. But look, this dismount double front, and she just eyes the ground. You know, I'm going to blame the mat there, right? It's almost like she tried to slide back a little bit and got caught.
Should be a good number. We'll get that as we continue here, and they continue on night 1 of the U.S. Championships. Back with the number on floor exercise, Connor McClain after that weight, 13.9.
Yeah, it's a good number, but you see the 8.1 we've seen a little bit higher so far. That's not a bad execution number, though. If you're above an 8.0, you're really doing well.
So McClain in second place overall. Caitlin Jong for balance beam, 13.2. Remember, 4 rotations tonight. This rotation number 2. And Wong a few moments ago on balance beam. 18-year-old from Kansas, second rotation.
I don't know. I'm not quite sure I would have had the nerve to go back to Tokyo when your first experience, you just fell short of making the Olympic team, and then your roommate contracts COVID. You're in quarantine the entire time, and 2 months later.
You mean for the Worlds?
Yeah, the Worlds are in Japan again.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's happy she went with the results she had. We heard a little bit of waffling from Kayla DiCello on whether she would go to school, whether she could possibly compete in the World Championships again. We asked Leanne Wong that question, and she said, yeah, absolutely. I talked to her coach, Al Fong, and he said, yes, that is absolutely the plan at this point.
You know, kind of a personal preference. Some athletes are truly just ready to move on. Going to college, it's a little bit easier competing in college in certain scenarios. In others, you're competing a lot more often, weekend after weekend, which I do think also has given them that experience to be able to be on that competition floor weekend after weekend.
Pretty darn good routine,
good save
though.
Right there, though.
Yeah. Big squat on that landing. Like we said, there are so many different criteria that can be deducted. If you squat down, that's a big one. You want to avoid that.
Get the number 4, that effort in a moment, but over to floor. Sky Blakely getting set, being announced right now.
It's a new pass for her. Very nice, but a step back and out of bounds. That'll be a total of 4/10 off.
And that's a good recovery from that fall on the balance beam in her first event. And a big smile.
Yeah, smile for that reason, for the 17-year-old from Frisco, Texas, Sky Blakely. Confirmation from her coaches there that it was a good effort, so we'll get the number in a few moments. So we check in now with Zora Stephenson.
Well, Sky Blakely used the word happy over and over again in our chat with her this week, and that's because after an elbow surgery and a 7-month recovery, she's back doing what she loves. She's back doing the floor routine that we just saw. Now, the injury happened at the Olympic trials last year. The fall took her out of the running for Tokyo. The road back to the gym included 3 physical therapy sessions a week, working at a range of motion again, a lot of stretching, strength training, and a time with sports psychologists. In Sky's return to competition this year, she's already earned 6 podium finishes. Talk about bouncing back. Her immediate goal right now is to make the world team. Part of that process includes doing well this weekend.
And that was moments before she was getting ready to compete at the Olympic trials. Right. She had done well at the U.S. National Championship. She was absolutely part of the conversation that she could possibly go to Tokyo.
35 days too young to compete in Tokyo originally. Then it was pushed back a year. She was right in the mix, had a great chance. And then the elbow surgery last July, 7 months of rehab, range of motion, the toughest part, but back and competing here in Tampa at the UFOS U.S. Gymnastics Championship, night number 1 for the women in Tampa.